Hello again, and welcome to Mr. Mayor's Book Chats. I'm going to tell you about 5 new books that we've got here down at the library. First one is called One by Sarah Crossan. And this tells the story of 2 sisters, Grace and Tippy. And they've got 2 hearts, 2 dreams, 2 lives, but just one body. See, Grace and Tippy are conjoined twins, and they're joined at the waist. And they were told that, or their parents were told, that they may not survive the first year. Then they were said, oh, they won't survive, 3 years. And they've just kept defying the odds. And now they're 16 years old. And they share everything because they're always together. They can't imagine never being apart. But then something is happening to them, something that they hoped would never happen. And one of them really doesn't want to admit it, not even to Tippy. And it tells the story of these 2 sisters. This story is told in verse, so if you like novels in verse, you might want to check this one out. It's just a pretty incredible story of these 2 sisters and everything that they have to deal with growing up, wanting the typical teenage experience, but not living the typical teenage experience. The next book is called Center Field. So my sports book fans, here's a new one for you. It's about a high schooler named Mike. And Mike is in his junior year of high school, and he's on the baseball team. And he gets good grades. He's very good at baseball. He's starting to get some interest from some college scouts. He's got a great girlfriend. He thinks that everything is going well. But then Oscar shows up and outperforms him. And Mike's starting to feel like maybe his center field position isn't his anymore. It's in jeopardy. And Mike starts to kind of lose control. All the pressure is getting to him. And he starts getting into fights. And he starts not hitting as well. And kind of getting into a little bit more trouble at school. So it's just all about that pressure that Mike is feeling, that he's putting on himself, that his parents are putting on him. And kind of his world is crumbling. And you have to see what happens to see if Mike gets out of it. The next one is another book by Jeff Zentner, Goodbye Days. And this story is about Carver. And Carver had it all. 3 best friends, a supportive family. He was a talented writer at his high school. And then one day he loses it all because he sends a simple text message to his buddy Mars. And Mars was driving a car with his 2 friends, Eli and Blake, and they're killed in a car accident. And it comes to find out that Mars was looking at that text message that Carver sent him. So Carver is devastated. He can't stop blaming himself for what happened to his 3 best friends. And he's not the only one that's blaming him. Some of his buddies' parents and families are blaming him. But there are a few that are looking out for Carver as well. In particular, Blake, one of the boys who died's grandmother, asks Carver to spend what she calls a goodbye day with her, to share their memories and say a proper goodbye. And other people start hearing about this goodbye day, and they start requesting, they want Carver to spend a goodbye day with them. And some of them help, but then there's some other ulterior motives, like one of the buddies' dads, who's a lawyer, won't stop blaming Carver. And Carver just doesn't know what to do with this grief. So it's all about his journey after the accident. There's humor. It's a pretty terrible thing to read about, but there's enough humor and just a good story of a kind of a contemporary teenage life. The next book, allegedly, this is a book that is not fun to read. It is a good book, but you're going to get ticked off while reading it. It's about a girl named Mary, and when she was 8 years old, she was with her mom, who has some mental illness, and they were watching a baby, and the baby died under their care. And Mary was blamed for it. She allegedly killed the baby. So Mary is sent to a juvenile detention center, And now the story picks up when she's about 16. And she's never really had a home. Um, she's had to kind of be on guard at all times at juvenile detention. She had met Ted, another person in the detention center. And now Mary is 16 years old and she is pregnant. And they're talking about taking her baby, saying that she is unfit to have her own baby. And now she's starting to speak up about what really happened and speak up against her mom, who she's always kind of feared. Like I said, this is a hard book to read. It's well written. It's, talks all about the injustices that people go through. But I will tell you, you probably will get very angry, especially near the end of this book. And on a completely unrelated, if you're finished that one and need something much lighter, this is Windfall. If you like books by Casey West and Jenny Han, pick this one up. About a girl named Alice, who doesn't believe in luck, but she does believe in love. And she has been in love with her best friend Teddy for as long as she can remember. And on Teddy's 18th birthday, she gives him a lottery ticket. And it just so happens that that lottery ticket hits it big. And Teddy wins $140 million. And in an instant, everything changes. And, at first it seems like a dream come true because, Teddy and Alice they've dealt with their own hardships growing up, and this money is going to change everything. And it does change everything. And it's a love story, and Alice is grappling with Teddy changing, maybe not for the better, and herself changing a little bit as well. But deep down, this is just a love story, a contemporary romance. So if you're in the mood for that, check this one out. As always, thanks for watching and enjoy.